Hi guys, quick update on the Iron Man. We've got the base now primed in rust colours. I'm not sure how well that comes across under this lighting, but that's primed in it's a Revell rust colour, basically an enamel, just like the Humbrol. You know, that's the original plastic colour that you see underneath there. And then it's had some patches of lighter and darker rust colour, and that's going to then be weathered with various metallic and painted finishes on the bits and pieces over the top, with a sort of chipping and rusting effect. Hopefully that's going to go okay, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And here's the Iron Man figure, all primed up, ready for its first coat. It still feels a little soft, so it's probably going to need a little bit longer to cure yet. That's been almost 48 hours, but sometimes the enamel can take a little while, if any of you guys that use enamel may know. So that's where we're at the moment. So a very brief update. So the next step is it's cleaned up incidentally quite nicely. See things like the seam lines on these portions here and down the legs, like you see there, and the arms and what have you. They're cleaned up and putted up quite well, sanded down, smoothed down, and then just an overall coat of grey primer. So that's where we're at. So the next step should see it with a base coat on the Iron Man figure and a base coat of metal shades on the base. Okay, a little update on the Iron Man. The base so far has been salted, as you can see a few bits have sort of flicked off there, over the rust effect paint, and it's been painted with Humbrol stainless steel Metalcote, which buffs up very, very nicely. I can just buff a little bit with my thumb here, and you see that bit there, sort of a bit shinier. If I can get this to focus, there we go. It'll buff up a bit shinier than that, but it's going to be further salted, and then I'm going to apply some solid paint colours, so that we're going to have sort of a chipped effect showing rust and steel and paint overall. So hopefully that should look pretty good, and maybe do some sort of rust streaking with pigments and things after. We'll see how that goes. The Iron Man figure has also been painted with Humbrol stainless steel Metalcote, which I've got to be honest, I think looks pretty nifty like that on its own. The areas that are going to be gold have been masked, as you can see, and it's ready for its candy red coat. The reason it's been sprayed in the stainless steel rather than in gold or silver is because if you look at the Mark III suit in the movie and you compare it to the Mark IV and onwards, the Mark VI, the Mark VII, they're a much shinier red, and the Mark III suit is actually quite a dark candy red overall. And having done a bit of a test, as I'll show you here, if I can get that to focus, to the left is Citadel chainmail, to the right, where I'm waggling my finger there, is Citadel bolt gun metal, and in the middle there is Humbrol stainless. Now if you see the red that's been laid over, this is just a rough quick sort of single coat, so it's not so easy to tell, but you'll be able to see that it's got the darker shade of red that I'm looking for. And the one near my little finger there is what I was going to go with originally, which is Tamiya titanium silver. And the reason I'm doing this is I painted, if you have a look at my videos, you'll see a 57 Chevy Bel Air which I painted in Tamiya Titanium Gold, which I'm going to be doing the masked areas with, and then sprayed red over the top, and there's a good sort of 4 coats over the top, and it came out a kind of burnished orange, which was a very interesting colour and worked quite well with the sort of custom theme I was going with for the car, although I was looking for a candy red. It's obviously not as heavy a tint as some candy reds, such as the Alclad for example, but it certainly does need to be darker, and that's the main thing. So hopefully when I get the candy red on that, it should look pretty good. So fingers crossed, and hopefully I'll be able to get onto that soon.